sure have, Bridget. So, Bridget, are we going to throw you right in the deep end? Tell us, what is your story? What is been your exposure to toxicity in your life?
Yeah, I get little hints here and there, but I kind of want to give like a full picture story of my life and why I created the summit. So, I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I was really concerned about the environment. When I was a kid, it was like the hole in the ozone layer was like a big thing. And like, how we were treating seals and stuff like that, like oil spills. And like, I just remember being really concerned about that when I was a kid. And I kind of thought I wanted to get into some environmental work, as I was growing up. My dad's an environmental lawyer. But I went the natural medicine way. And I always thought, well, I'll circle back and I'll teach environmental, awareness too. But then, as you know, like you get really busy in your clinic. I was an acupuncturist. I was treating back pain and doing my accounting and doing all the things. I was also living in Portland, Oregon, where it's pretty green. They're pretty knowledgeable. So it almost kind of went back burner, this whole environmental thing, until I got very sick in my home in Oregon from toxic mold, and created a big life change for me. Just a lot of expense, a lot of heartbreak, like selling our home and fixing our home and getting rid of all our things, and spent a long detox journey. Now I live in Arizona, really because of the dry climate. And kind of through the synchronicity, I'm living in this place that's a lot less environmentally aware, and really just like sharing my story of mold, and I'm just really realizing like there is a need for this. So I'm really thankful that everything's come full circle for me. And I'm getting to talk with so many experts to produce this work about toxin avoidance and detoxing the body.
Totally. So, Bridget, will you just tell us though, how did you know you're exposed to mold? Like, did it show up in terms of symptoms in your house? Like, yes, you are living in Portland, but is everyone in Portland exposed to mold? Or what triggered for you that you realized that you had this environmental exposure?
Right. So about like 1 in 4 buildings are water damaged in some way. And ours was water damaged kind of within the walls. We didn't really know. About 1 in 4 people are also not great at clearing mold toxins, which are the toxins produced by certain species of mold. So in my case, I was getting infections a lot. I was really tired. I guess those were the two that kind of got us to get a mold inspector. And, again, like some life instances supported us in like investigating that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the symptoms, got actually a lot worse after that. Because once you open that door, all sorts of things come out. And like a lot of people, I have a lot of different diagnoses besides the mold. I had autoimmune antibodies coming up, and candida and parasites, and all these things just kind of feed off each other. So I had tons of symptoms like, my eyelid twitching and my legs twitching and stuff like that. But, I'm a lot better now. I think detox is a lifetime journey. Wendy Myers and I talked about that. I really do believe that. But the good news is no matter what spot you're in right now, whether you know what toxins you're exposed to or not, there's definitely hope of recovery that, you and I both experienced.
And so with the mold toxicity, is that what opened the floodgates for the parasites and other toxins coming in your body? Or do you think you had them beforehand and you didn't realize? Or how did that kind of stack up for you?
I think who knows really, I think the stressors in our body just sort of build, and it can be hard to say what started what 10, 20 years ago, right? Like we're all accumulating little things, right? Even Christine Schaffner on the summit talked about, scar tissue being a blockage. So, well, it's as people listen to these talks, I hope they think about, okay, well, where could I have been exposed to this or that? Or what was a time in my life that was stressful in different ways? And I don't think you can ever fully unwind what came first. Sometimes you just unwind how to get better the best you can.
And then because of this situation, did you start to get even more inflamed? Like once you got the mold exposure, the parasites and stuff, did that mean like the daily, like just breathing, right? We've got pollution in the air now, all of these types of things, that really hampered your body as well? Like, is that where like, for most of us where we don't, how important, I guess, DIY detox becomes in our daily routine as well, like doing things daily?
So you're saying, am I more sensitive to air pollution and that kind of a thing?
Yeah, or just once you got the mold detox, like once that came into your body, do you reckon that you were more sensitive to all sorts of other toxins in the environment, in the world, day-to-day life?
Yeah, I think especially you notice you become chemically sensitive. I think that becomes like one that people notice a lot. Some people say if you are chemically sensitive, there is a detox issue. It might not be mold, but none of us are supposed to be inhaling like Tide detergent or whatever it is. But if you really get a reaction, you're getting a headache and that kind of a thing, it may be because your detox system is really overloaded as it is.
Totally. So do you, obviously this is DIY detox summit, that's what you're putting on for everyone to be able to do it at home. But are there some supplements that you just recommend through your journey, through working with your one-on-one clients, that are just good bases for everyone as well as doing practical things in your day life?
Yeah, so we're going to kind of focus on supplements today. It's certainly only one element of the detox journey, but you have 34 other lectures to guide you through the rest. And I think people are curious about supplements. You can get your
Totally.
hands on like a lot of good supplements over the counter, which is fantastic. Um, so yeah, as a basis, and Margaret Christensen and I kind of talked about this on her interview. As a basis, it's not super sexy, but multivitamin, getting your
That's not
minerals,
sexy at all.
getting your B vitamins, getting your minerals, getting your essential fatty acids. It really is a base. I've done a lot of kind of supplement reviews on people over the years, and they're taking all sorts of things that they learned about from here and there, and I'm like, well, where's your magnesium, like where's just your good B vitamins, like where's your fish oil? And sometimes they're forgetting those building blocks. Just to like point out a few things, the B vitamins are really important, some of them in one phase of liver detox, some of them in phase 2 liver detox. The B vitamins are really important. They're depleted by stress and poor diet. They help produce glutathione that we're going to talk about later. They help produce healthy red blood cells, which give you energy to, fight off all these things and feel good in your body. So I think good quality methylated B vitamins are really important. Magnesium, it's said that half of us are deficient. I think it's probably more than that. Also depleted by stress and poor diet, which most of us are dealing with. Performs 300 functions in the body, produces cellular energy, helps produce glutathione, helps with cellular detox, kind of like pumping things in and out of the cells, and also kind of helps counteract heavy metal exposure. All the minerals sort of help counteract heavy metal exposure because they compete for the same receptor sites. So one way you can kind of detox from heavy metal is to add beneficial minerals in. So getting your trace minerals and then getting like a higher dose of a good quality magnesium.
Totally.
Yeah, I've had this question like so many times. They say, are you taking magnesium? People say, well, I'm taking a multivitamin. There's no way they can fit enough magnesium in one multivitamin. It's
And
just not, it's very bulky, right? So usually I do magnesium in a scoop, in a powder. Some people do it as like a body spray. Um, that doesn't work so great for my body. So I do it as a powder. I do a chelated magnesium. So I think that's an important one to get. And then, yeah, fats, like getting some fish oil. It's very, for my own body, it's been very anti-inflammatory. I'll just take a straight liquid one when I'm in a flare up, but also all the other fats that kind of don't get enough play. Like I take hemp oil and I'll put it in smoothies. Borage oil is very good for women. Flax oil, just getting nuts and seeds is great. So making sure, most of us maybe not be getting the right ratio of fats every day. So I think some supplementation there is good daily. And then maybe as a kind of a general one that I think anybody listening and interested in detox could take is a glutathione supplement. So
Totally.
glutathione, yeah, it's a master antioxidant of the body. As the body passes around oxidative material, it sort of ends up in the liver, and the glutathione kind of subdues it and gets it to move out of the body. So glutathione is really important. It does come, you can support your body with things like broccoli and garlic and certain things in your diet. But if you're really compromised, most people who are really toxic have low glutathione levels right when they need it the most. Like they need it, but it's become depleted. So um, something we talked about in the supplement summit that's helped me is definitely coffee enemas has helped me. Jay Davidson talked about that they help you make glutathione quite a bit. But you can also use a supplement. We sell like a microionized glutathione spray. There's also liposomal glutathione. I think we all, react a little differently to different products. Some people have told me like glutathione gives them like an immediate boost. It's never done that for me. It's just
Me
not one. Yeah. I just kind of,
I wish.
I wish too. There's some things that do. We'll mention some of those later. But just intellectually, like it's a good thing for you. So you can take that regularly as well.
And Bridget, just to touch on a topic that you brought up just then, maintenance is different to when you're detoxifying, right? Like when you said the amount of magnesium you need. So when you're pushing through heavy metals, that's different to the amount of magnesium that you need just for maintenance, right? Like
Yeah, I think everyone can take magnesium in a higher dose like than is probably recommended. So I'm not giving you like a mega dose. If you take too much magnesium, it'll make you want to poop,
yeah,
basically. Um, but I think like many people need 400 to 600 milligrams a day. Maybe 4 is like more average, but I know like my own body, I could be just sucking that stuff down. Like my body loves magnesium. I don't even take enough as my body, I think, would like, just because, I'm not always the best compliance like everyone else, but I do try to get extra magnesium. I do Epsom salt baths as well, which has sulfur and magnesium. So it's really good for your liver. So yeah, I'm not necessarily saying mega dose any of these things. But yeah, just make sure you're getting these as a good base.
and also just one more question that I get asked lots. Is there a difference between the supplements on your website and what you can get over the counter?
Yeah. So I feel like there's some good loopholes that people can take advantage of, which is there's certain supplements I can get that you can't get over the counter, but as long as I resell them with my guidance, you can get your hands on them. And that guidance doesn't have to be like a long consult. It could just be, that I'm available for questions as they come up and that we have instructions. So yeah, and then we just vet the quality of everything. Like there's so many different types of magnesium. I've tested many of them. I've learned about a lot of them. And I carry what I like and I think is the most effective. I think that even like there's some like popular magnesiums like Calm magnesium that's like sold in all the Whole Foods. A lot of people take that, but I don't think that's personally the best form. So you just know we've vetted everything for you.
That's the difference, yeah. Like you're getting the practitioner's endorsement, like your endorsement saying that this is a really good supplement. The ingredients are really good, the fillers and everything like that. And often you get access to supplements that the general public can't because you need that practitioner guidance. I just wanted to clear that up.
Right.
Perfect. So do you have some favorite supplements for your gut? Like I bet you a lot of people listening are wanting to heal their guts or they know a lot about their guts. What are your favorite ones?
Yeah, so some of the people on the summit make some of my favorite ones. Um, we're crazy about Microbiome Labs that make the Megaspore probiotic, and I'm crazy about all their new products for gut mucosa, for giving fiber to your beneficial bacteria. Their Candida product is amazing. I really love it.
What is their Candida one?
It's called Mega Mycobalance.
Oh, okay. I like Megas. I'm going to have to look up that one. Yep.
Yeah, I took it kind of, again, poor compliance, kind of half-heartedly. I wasn't even really taking the proper dosage. And I really noticed some symptoms disappear for me. So I was very impressed by that one. So they have a lot of things to rebuild friendly bacteria or rebuild the gut lining. And then we also carry a couple other companies that I would say are more like killers for the things in the gut, like carry some of the biocidin products, which is like a herbal mixture to kind of kill some bugs in the gut and that kind of a thing. Another company I use for parasites is Barlow Herbal. I found that their tinctures were like very effective for me. So, you can go listen to Kieran's talk. It'll be very informative for you to just understand the gut a little better and choosing good products. A lot of people are wasting money on probiotics that aren't doing much. So he can kind of inform you on that. But as many speakers mentioned on the summit, the gut is like a critical area, um, such an important area. And if you've been exposed to mold and different things, like it's going to be compromised. So yeah, I think that those are a great place to start.
And this kind of feeds in with the gut is also, if your gut's inflamed, your brain's inflamed, right? So you're getting all sorts of inflammation in your brain. So how do you tackle that with your clients?
Yeah, great question. Ryan Wolford, I'm kind of taking a tour on who said what. Ryan Wolford
Yeah, I know,
talked
I love
about
it.
leaky brain. So one thing he mentioned is don't eat the things that are going to irritate you. And for many of us, that's like gluten, dairy, sugar. Don't eat the things that are going to blow you up. And sometimes you don't know it blows you up till you clean things out a bit. So that's one thing. And then just working on the gut barrier health is another. But we have a little like kind of brain inflammation pack. The thing I include is magnesium. It's great for bringing down inflammation and treating pain. I include the fish oil because I think that's a great one for brain health as well. And then the last product that we haven't talked about yet is phosphatidylcholine, which is a phospholipid. It's basically helps build the cell membrane. And it has a special affinity to the brain. It has the choline that helps produce a neurotransmitter for the brain that helps produce acetylcholine for attention and alertness. I'll backtrack a bit and say, when I was my sickest, my brain wasn't working well. I couldn't remember things. That was going on for a while. And then as I was getting better, I would occasionally have a flare up. I get exposed to something and get a headache. And, I noticed it helping in the beginning, but I especially notice it now that I'm healthier. If I have a flare up and I can take the magnesium, the fish oil, the phosphatidylcholine, it just kind of quiets everything. And I can, almost like, you feel like your brain's inflamed when it is, everything just feels really fired up. So the phosphatidylcholine I think is great for any situations where leaky brain, leaky gut has led to, poor recall, poor brain function, headaches, that kind of a thing.
And do you still take it even when you don't have any symptoms? Do you use that as maintenance, or do you just use that when you've got the flare-ups?
I personally don't use it every day. I used it every day when I was at my sickest, and then I would use it for flare-ups. I probably could, but there's like a million things we could all take every day. So you have to stop the insanity at some point.
It's true. You have to pick a few things. What's the priorities? What's going on? Now, this one I'm really interested about. So we've talked about like the brain and the gut and exposure and stuff. It gets all the way into our cells, right? Like our cells can be toxic.
Yeah, this is one of the most fascinating areas to me. And I think we'll have a few speakers. Yes, cellular health is really, really fascinating. So yeah, to detox the cells, it's definitely like some of the same things we mentioned above, right? Like the B vitamins, the magnesium, the good fats, the phosphatidylcholine. We're just kind of building on the layers now. And then also something that came up in the summit were binders. I'm not going to go deep into it because they have come up. We've got a pair of blogs on our site that kind of compares different types of binders. There's chlorella, there's zeolite, there's fulvic and humic acid. Jay Davidson's company, Microbe Formulas, has some really nice ones that I'm experimenting with now that won't deplete you of minerals. And they're different formulas that bind to different things, whether it's the toxins from Lyme disease or the toxins from mold or heavy metals or whatever. Everybody's had a little different scenario. So I think that those are really cool formulas. that he's producing. We mentioned the minerals earlier, kind of displace the heavy metals, and he's got a minerals tincture I just started on that I really like. So those are some ideas, and then lastly, I'll mention CoQ10, which my naturopath turned me on to, and I was kind of just taking a random CoQ10, which did help. And then I got introduced to a company called MitoQ that has a CoQ10 that actually is formulated in a way that it really gets into the cell deeper. So CoQ10 people may have heard of for heart health. That's usually what it's heard of for, why do we need it for heart health? The heart is this hard working muscle. The cells work really, really hard in the heart, and you want to keep those cells healthy and prevent oxidative damage within the cell. So that's kind of where CoQ10 comes in. So mitochondria are these little energy producers in our cells, and they naturally produce oxidative damage as they produce themselves. So that's already happening, and it gets worse with age. So kind of anybody could benefit from CoQ10, but if you're under a toxic load, those little guys are even more threatened, and there's more oxidative damage. So, pollution, mold toxins, whatever it is, it's like there's just oxidation coming from both sides, and the mitochondria don't have a strong wall or barrier around them to protect themselves. So getting this kind of super CoQ10 in can really help cellular energy, which can help your own energy. So, I didn't have like super high hopes when I tried this, but after a few weeks, I was like, oh, like I can feel this is working. It's a company actually out in New Zealand. I think I told you that, and they've done a ton of research. There's a lot of research on this product about how it helps your heart. And, the person who helps me with it here in the States is like an esthetician, and she really loves it for skin health and anti-aging. So it's sort of like my forever supplement. I take it as first thing when I wake up, and I just feel really good about taking it. My supplement rep says like it just over time, she notices more and more.
I was going to say, is it one that you build on?
Yeah, it is one that builds up.
And because it's not like necessarily, people don't necessarily go, oh, that symptom equals my cells are damaged, right? Like, like you get bloating and you go, oh, something's happened to my gut, or you get diarrhea and you kind of get that symptom and cause. With your cellular, like you're saying, the key word was cellular energy. It's your energy function, your energy powerhouse in your body. So it's like, it builds up. It's not like take this like some sort of healing leaky gut protocol supplement or whatever, where you can get an instant reaction. Often with I always say CoQ10. I'm really bad at saying it. That it's like that build up, like you get more and more energy the more you kind of take it.
Yes. Yeah. Like she said that often your reaction could be like the most dramatic at first, but not for everyone. Like some people, it will have to build up for a while. So it's a little different, mechanism than like taking an Advil and then you notice a result. But I would say that if you feel like you're aging faster than you should be, like you're noticing changes that you don't like your brain isn't firing that well, or like you and I both experience, just you're bone tired, like you are bone tired. You're, probably because of toxicity. Because if you're trying to eat right and do the right things and you're just like exhausted. Like that's how I was when I found them all. I'm like, I don't know what more I can do here. I'm going to yoga. I'm like trying to do the right, like, what do you want from me? And that's usually to me when there's like toxins involved. And I just find that this product has just been really helpful to like, bring me back to like a better version of myself.
That's fantastic. We love that one. Okay, so now tell us specifically, what are your favorite supplements for treating viruses and molds? Because obviously that's been such a huge part of your journey.
Yeah, so I have a few things I sell. I will say I just learned about these super viruses from Donna Gates, but I guess they're to treat bacteria. But anyway, go listen to that one. That was very interesting. I also have chronic Epstein-Barr virus, and it's been, I think, a thing I've really had to wrestle with a lot in the last year and a half since I moved away, what I kind of perceived as viral symptoms or what were hanging on for me, like swollen glands and feeling like I'm on the edge of being sick a lot. Um, so something that helped me was using colloidal silver. So we have it as a spray. You can put it in your mouth. Also olive leaf, just a herbal medicine. It's antibacterial too, but it's a nice antiviral, and it doesn't seem to have any harm to take it daily. You're probably going to not take it every day anyways. And then vitamin D is so important for the immune system. So I can talk more about silver in a minute, how it works, but those are some ideas. I also want to say that since I started that New York Candida supplement, what I thought were like my viral symptoms went away. So, sometimes we misinterpret ourselves. And I think that Candida was either really hampering my immune system. So I was getting, this lymph buildup and that kind of a thing that I maybe perceived as the virus. So just something to think about. Sometimes we do misinterpret things, and like taking these antivirals was sort of keeping things at bay, but I could tell it wasn't getting to the root of it. And then it just so happened when I tried this Candida supplement, I was like, like the things that I thought were from the virus seem to be going away. So just something to think about. I think we shouldn't be just like barely keeping up with our symptoms. Like things should be shifting in other ways. Yeah. But silver is pretty interesting. It can get into the cell wall of bacteria and viruses and disrupt them and destroy them, which is pretty cool. So it gets a lot of flack as being kind of like a hokey remedy, but it actually has a lot of science behind it. It is not something you should DIY. You should not make your own silver tincture because you can mess it up. But the kind I use is very like concentrated and very small particles. And that seems to be the best for going in after viruses.
Me too. And you're right with the small particles that you want to get it in there into the body so it's easier for your body. So yeah, I can't even imagine DIYing that one, Bridget.
Oh, there are things online with like wires and I don't recommend it.
I would not recommend that one at all. And you just touched on this too. Your lymph plays a huge role in detoxification too. Do you have a favorite lymph supplement?
Favorite lymph supplement? Nah, I don't exactly have a supplement, but I really like dry brushing for the lymph and movement and like doing squats and exercise and stuff like that. Some essential oils are good for the lymph, like grapefruit and the citruses. So those are what come to mind when you ask that.
Okay, I just want to check, just because you brought that up, the lymph does play a huge role and not everyone realizes that.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is your website? Where do we learn more about this? Where can we look at your favorite supplements? And do you have like a supplement guide for people too?
I do have a guide. I want to mention one last thing about the silver and one other use before we get to that. That's for mold. So pretty much everything I mentioned could be used for mold and its co-infections. But
Yes.
another way to use silver is as a nasal spray. So
yes.
most people who have mold have an infection in their nose called a multi-antibiotic resistant staph infection. And the silver can actually break down the biofilms and work on that infection. And we mix it with the biocidin antibacterial. So yeah, again, most of the stuff above I've used in my mold journey. And then the silver treatment or the nasal treatment is something to kind of add on.
So do you make that? Do you take those two supplements and then turn it into a nasal spray? Is that what you're meaning?
So you can buy the silver nasal spray in a spray and then just add in the herbal tincture.
Got it.
Yes.
And also, just on that too, if you've been exposed to Epstein-Barr virus or glandular fever, we call it over here, that stays in your body, yeah? Like you want to be like you just touched on. People really want to be detoxifying that out of their bodies. So once your symptoms have gone, the virus can still be in your body.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. And I don't think that Lyme can totally go away either. Like some things will stay kind of hidden, like latent. And that's the best you can do is just like maintain your health ongoing. And, just know to like, if you're going to be traveling or whatever, like on a work deadline, just to like take extra care of yourself, through those times.
Perfect. Okay, now will you tell us? I know that
Okay.
everyone's waiting for it. They want to know where they can get the goods from, Bridget. Come on.
Okay. So my main website is just my name, bridgetdanner.com. And we've got a lot of old podcasts on there and blogs on all sorts of topics, and our shop on there. I also want people to know how they can get a hold of you, Shelley.
Well, I just have to say, though, one more thing before we move on from you.
Oh,
I know personally that I signed up to your website to get the mold detoxification PDF, and it's amazing. Like the detail that you've got in there, the supplements, and it's so user friendly. So I just want people to know, like, I get my clients to sign up for it too, because I'm like, why reinvent the wheel when Bridget's done such a great job? But it's
yeah.
really like sign up. Like Bridget has so many great resources on her website that you can sign up in her PDFs. They're so user friendly and so pretty because I like them
Yeah,
to look.
I actually love. Thank you. First of all, I want to say something about that too, which is like in my own mold journey, I'm lucky. I have access to a lot of practitioners. I can get wholesale accounts, but it still gets really expensive. And I think that many people just like want to get their hands on stuff. They just want good advice. And as we came up with this summit, we didn't know, I didn't know what we'd call it at first and that kind of thing, but it actually is really important to me to let people, take health into their own hands more and get their hands on resources, because you can't always afford to travel to a certain practitioner, or you just can't even afford that practitioner right now. And I see sometimes people saying, especially in the mold community, well, I need to see an MD who's like does this so and so protocol. And it's great that we have those protocols and that research has been done, but really, like, there are so many DIY resources for your
So
own detox. And we can sometimes think, oh, if I don't see a certain person, I'm not going to get better. But you're the person who's going to get you better. Like, that's just how it
totally.
is. That's how it is. And you can see people along your journey. You'll probably see several. But, I find that people just like want the advice and then they pick out their own supplements. They don't, if they understand, then they can make their own choices. And it's empowering and it saves you money. So yeah, I'm happy to be coming out with more resources like that, and just to share the resources of the different speakers as well, because yeah, like I will again say, like, don't think any one magical person is going to be the one to save you. It's going to be like a combination of different things you try and invest in, and whether it's buying a sauna or, you know, learning a new detox drink, or whatever it is. Like, as going through, becoming a patient again when I got really sick, it just made me realize like it really is about your own choices and your own decisions. And when you know that, you'll feel more empowered.
And like you say, just on that, education is empowerment. Like I'm big into that with clients. Once they get educated, you're empowered to make your own decisions. You're empowered to be your own best health practitioner and advocate. And you're going to fight like there's no tomorrow for your own health, as me and you did, Bridget. Like that's what led us on these journeys, was we were determined to get better. Like we needed the education to become empowered, to not stop until we got our lives back again.
Yeah, that persistence is really key as well, and that mental health to just keep going, because you're worth it. You're worth it, girl. I'm worth it too.
Yeah.
And we're all worth it.
We're living proof. We might have not enjoyed it the whole time, and some days might have been harder for us, but we got there in the end. And now you've done amazing things, and I do amazing things with my clients to support them and make the journey easier. Like there's so many resources out there that we didn't really have on our journeys, and that's probably what was motivated us to create all these resources for other people, because we
Yeah.
want to make it easier and we want to help you get empowered as fast as possible so you can get your health back.
Right. So, are you still doing your podcast, Shelley?
Yes, I am. I
Okay.
do weekly podcasts.
Okay. If you want to hear more of Shelley's accent, what's the name of the podcast?
So the podcast's called Low Carb Conversations, but that's just the basis of it. We're not really talking about low carbs. We get all sorts of different experts on from around the world, some Kiwis and Aussies, but a lot of Americans too. So that is hosted on my website, and that is www.shelleygarwith.com, my name. Nice and easy. And there's heaps of different other resources on there just to help you get your health back again.
Great. Well, thanks for interviewing me, Shelley.
Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you for sharing your story with us and all your hot tips.